Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Rumin. Welcome back to Ratchet and Clank, Up Your Arsenal, my all-time favorite Ratchet and Clank game, one of my favorite games of all time. Today we are going to do these ranger missions, even though you don't have to do them. They are completely optional, but they're a good time anyway. I think only 2 of the ranger missions are like mandatory. Like, these ones aren't mandatory, but I think the ones on Iridia, which are later, are mandatory, and the ones in Blackwater City are I think, mandatory as well. Anyway, let's shoot that one. This one's really easy. Like, this is one of the easiest ranger missions in the game. You just want to shoot these green thingies. And the cool thing about, you know, the hover ship is that...
Sarge, you think you can pick up the pace a bit? Some of the other guys are getting a little nervous.
Anyway, the cool thing about the hover ship is that you can shoot enemies from so far away that you don't have to ever engage with them. You can just play kind of stealthy if you want.
He survived? I don't believe it. I mean, we never doubted you for a second, Sarge. Good work.
Anyway, there is a tricky titanium bolt somewhere. I forgot how to get it though.
Know the drill, Sarge. Noids are everywhere, and we're getting our butts kicked.
Like, if I recall, the titanium bolt is like on a ramp somewhere, and you gotta use the hover ship to fly to it or something. Like, I don't think you can walk to it, or you might be able to. I don't know.
They're coming from the tower.
It's been such a long time. I'll get it though. Also, a couple episodes ago, I said Size Matters had gold bolts. Size Matters actually has titanium bolts, which I completely forgot about. So how about that? This thing, definitely. And then let's get out a little bit of the disc blade gun. I can't wait till the disc blade gun gets the lock-on mod. Lock-on mod? Nah, it doesn't look like it. We get that later. In Ratchet and Clank 2, you had to, like, buy the lock-on mod for your weapons. Like, it was physically a separate purchase that you needed platinum bolts to get. But in this game, it's so much more convenient because you get the lock-on mod just by leveling up the weapon. There we go. I'm gonna throw out some of these. This weapon. This weapon's only level 2. Whoa, just that slowdown. Anyway. You don't get anything for doing this. Wait, no, you do get something for doing this. What I meant to say was this isn't required to beat the game, but you do get something pretty neat, actually. You get a map detector. Like you'll see secrets on the map, so you'll get a little compass thingy telling you where the gold bolts are and stuff like that. It's pretty neat.
Saving our kids is gonna be a full-time job, Sarge.
Look at that, 35,000 volts. Just so much money.
The Noids are holed up in 4 towers. You'll need a hover ship to get up there and flush them out.
This is one of the hardest ones in the game, in my opinion. Because you gotta shoot all of these small targets in the hover ship. So there. Okay, there's one. Nope. Nope. Can I shoot the missile? Can I shoot the missile before it gets to me? There we go. Man, that's such an annoying enemy. I hate the turret. I like the turret I get as a weapon, but I don't like the turret the game throws at you as an enemy, as an obstacle. There we go. And I'm still on the lookout for that titanium bolt. I know it's like on a ramp somewhere. Yeah, like I swear it's like there, isn't it? But I'm in the ship right now, so I can't get it. Is it on the other side? No. This is just a multiplayer map. Like, this map was made for the multiplayer in this game, and they reused it for this, which is in the game.
Yeah, this reminds me of the sewer war in Planet Aquatos back in '62, when I killed a king amoeboid with my bare hands. I heard the amoeboid swallowed you, sir. I heard you were AWOL until you, turned up a week later floating in a toilet on planet Barry. Shut your trap, H-22. You weren't there and you don't know nothing about it. Sir, I heard the same story. Only, I heard it was more like 2 weeks. All units maintain radio silence.
That's kind of funny. Anyway, you might think it's kind of lazy to just reuse a multiplayer map, but you need to understand, like, this game had very little time in the oven. So the fact that they were able to make an entire multiplayer campaign also on top of the main game is very impressive. Like, that is super impressive. So it's just a good use of resources. It's actually pretty clever to use a multiplayer map like this, just to extend the game a little bit. There it is. There. That's the titanium bolt. In my opinion, that's actually one of the hardest to find in the game, because you wouldn't think to, you know, go for it. You'd be like, you couldn't get one in the ship. And it's so small, too. There we go.
Your sweet time. Area secured. Prepare to move out.
It's funny that he says that I took my sweet time, because that's actually one of the longer ranger missions in the game. And the ship actually has really good animations. Like when you go up and down, the wings on the ship tilt to... I mean, the spoilers on the ship tilt to which direction you're going. It's nice. And it controls like butter. I think my favorite ship segment in the entire game would have to be... Wait, no, wait. My favorite ship segment in the Ratchet and Clank series would have to be the ones in A Crack in Time, followed by the ones in Deadlocked. But this comes up third. The worst ones are the ones in Tools of Destruction, in my opinion. Those ones are just like... Why do they last so long? They actually wouldn't be so bad if they didn't last, like, 8 whole minutes at a time. But yeah, these got their own pace, you know. The length these last depend on how good you are at the game. So if you suck at the game, these missions are going to take like 30 minutes on end. But if you're good at the game, then they won't last that long.
Nice flying, Sarge! The Noids will be getting desperate now. Be ready for anything.
15,000 volts, Jesus.
Get to the turret, blast those ships out of the sky! Lock and load!
This one's very reminiscent of that part in Ratchet and Clank 1 where we had to destroy the big ship on the snowy planet. The one that was carrying the nuke. This is like that. But luckily it's not as hard as that. I could do more damage with just the flux rifle than this thing. Oh boy.
Roger. This is the last wave, Sarge. Don't give those pus buckets an inch.
That line was reused before. That line was also used on Arcadia, I think. Whoa. Did that ship have less health than the other ships? I killed that one in like no time at all. That was kind of weird. The Map-O-Matic.
Thanks again, Sarge. Me and the guys wanted to get you something to say thanks for saving our butts all over the galaxy. Everybody chipped in. We got you this Map-O-Matic.
Oh, you guys are the best.
Alrighty, I think that's everything. Yeah, see, like, those missions aren't that bad. See, that was just 10 minutes for me.
A Map-O-Matic reveals
So if you look at the map, we can see secret areas on the map. See that right there? See why it's see how it's green? That's because that's a secret area. Ooh, right there. There's green there. That means there's a secret there. So if I backtrack to that, there will likely be a secret there. You know, let's go to it, actually. Let's see what's there. Oh yeah, see over here. Check this out. That's a cool titanium bolt. Check that one out. That one's very well hidden. Whoa, boy. That one's more well hidden than the trophy on Florana. Man. See, I would have never found that without the Map-O-Matic. That's why the that's why the Map-O-Matic is so cool. This thing's gonna level up. Nice. There we go. This thing's legitimately one of the most powerful weapons in the game, actually. Like, at V5, like, just you wait. It's very unexpected when it becomes at V5, so yeah. And I'm gonna go to my options. I'm going to save the game. There we go. Gonna reload. This way I just get brought back to the ship without needing to backtrack. I wish the game let you choose the planet to go to, like, when you're loading the save. You know what I mean? But that's not a feature in literally any Ratchet and Clank game. Every time there was a new Ratchet and Clank game, I was like, I hope they had this, and they never added it. Anyway, let's go back to the Starship Phoenix. The reason why I don't talk during load screens like that is because there might be a cutscene in the middle of it.
Just hours ago, bio-obliterators devastated Metropolis. The devices have since disappeared and their current location is unknown. Galactic citizens are in a state of hysteria, reacting to news that Dr. Nefarious is planning identical attacks across the galaxy. We're live from planet Marcadia with the Galactic President. Mr. President, how will the attack on Metropolis affect your chances for re-election this fall?
I'm glad you asked, Darla. Our demographic research indicates that robots will make up 100% of the galactic population by this time next week. Now, of course, that's great news for my re-election campaign because, as you know, I'm half robot myself.
I don't believe this. Everyone's acting like Nefarious has already won.
Maybe he has. If we don't find those bio-obliterators soon, we're all gonna be robots. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Wait a second. Before the Star Cruiser blew up, didn't Quark say he was trying to find something?
Yeah. It's a long shot, but I guess it's worth a try. The cruiser went down on planet Zeldrin. We'll go check out the crash site. Maybe we can find what Quark was looking for.
It's funny, up next we have planet Zeldrin, or like specifically the crash site on planet Zeldrin. And this is, a lot of people don't like this planet. A lot of people consider this next planet like their least favorite planet. But this is actually like one of my personal favorite planets, so eh. I don't think it's that bad. Anyway, here's the Aegis Mark V armor. You definitely want this. This is actually one of the cooler armors in the series, in my opinion.
There's something I need to tell you. I think you're the sexiest, nicest, most extraordinary artificial life form I've ever... Hold on. Why is the intercom button flashing? Oh, jeez.
That's so funny. Anyway, this armor is really cool. I like how this one looks. Like, this one just, like, looks really cool in my opinion. I don't know what it is about it, though. The final armor in this game is pretty cool because it looks like what Ratchet would look like if he was a robot. So I still don't want any of these. I'm saving up for something very specific. And do I have the last Quark vid comic? I don't think so. Missions, go to planet Zeldrin. All right. Let's go to Zeldrin. Wait, should I do Zeldrin or should I do some cleanup? I can do some cleanup right now. I have all of the titanium bolts on all the planets except for Aquados. You know what? I'll go get these first. The ones on Aquados are actually not very easy to get. Unless you have the Map-O-Matic. If you have the Map-O-Matic, they're easy. But if you don't have the Map-O-Matic, then you're going to search a big, giant maze for them. Which is a pretty clever way to hide a titanium bolt. Yeah, there. As you can see, that big, giant green tube. That's where one of them are. So, let's go get it. Am I going the right way? No, I'm not. Okay. You don't have to take that ramp. I mean that teleporter thingy. You can just jump down like this. Yeah, you can just skip that. Anyway, there are still no new weapons. Let's go. These weapons are... These enemies are really cool when you fight them with the Rift Inducer. Because they constantly get sucked up and sucked up. Like, it's a very efficient way to deal with them. I heard this game... Well, I heard it be said about this game that there's, like, no strategy to the combat. Like, you just shoot. But I disagree with that. Like, this game has weapons that are more tailored for specific enemies than Ratchet and Clank 2 had, in my opinion. Like, in Ratchet and Clank 2, you had, the Plasma Storm, which I guess was better for smaller enemies. But besides that, it was just, like... whatever. But in this game you have the Rift Inducer, which can't even be used on big enemies. It can only be used on small enemies. You have the Whip, which is primarily geared towards smaller enemies. You have the Annihilator, which is primarily for bigger enemies at a distance. You have the Rift Inducer, which you want to use on bigger enemies at a distance. Yeah, you just have a lot of cool weapons that are geared towards their own specific, like, enemy type to deal with. But in Ratchet and Clank 2, you didn't really have that. I mean, I guess you had the Spider-Bot glove, which would kind of be for larger enemies at a distance. You know, you throw the Spider-Bot, and then you walk the Spider-Bot glove over to the enemy. But it was just like whatever, pretty much. And then you had, what else did you have in Ratchet and Clank 2? You had the Clank Zapper, which was for small enemies. And that thing sucked. I don't know. so yeah, I disagree with the notion that Ratchet and Clank 3 is, like, more combat generic, I guess you could say. If I even said that right, like... You know, this game is more than just jump and shoot and, like, shoot, you know? Like, you actually have to, like, plan what you're doing around these enemies. And it's funny, even the developers think that, dang it. Even the developers of this game think stuff like, you know, there's less platforming in Ratchet and Clank 3 than there are the other games. Like, Ratchet and Clank 3 is geared more towards combat, and the combat is less creative, but I disagree with that. Like, I disagree with the developers in this regard, actually. I don't know. Even in Tools of Destruction, I don't even think they have Tools of Destruction. People say when Tools of Destruction came around, combat started to really become nothing but just like, oh, shoot the hordes of enemies with any weapon, because any weapon can be used for any scenario. But I disagree with that as well. In Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction, you had the Shock Ravager, which was useful for the enemies that were holding the shields, and you had the Swarmer enemies, which were better for smaller enemies and close clusters. And then you had the Negotiator, which was primarily used for bigger enemies. In my opinion, the biggest culprit of, like, you know, just shoot the enemy kind of gameplay is Deadlocked. Like, in Deadlocked, you can pretty much use any weapon for any scenario. There it is. Well, look at that water. Look at that. Wait a minute. That's kind of cool. You can actually see that room we go to later. That's the room that had what's his name in it? I can't remember his name. The shady salesman, whatever his name was. Anyway, now I need to, hold on a second, I'm actually gonna save and then reload. You wish to overwrite this? Yes. Alright, then load. The next sewer crystals are in the... Wait, I meant to say the next titanium bolts are in the sewer crystal maze. Okay, go to Slim Cognito. Go to sewer. Yeah. Okay. This map doesn't help because it's showing me that like the entire map is basically a secret area. Whatever. I'll find it eventually. Wait, should I collect every single crystal? You know what? You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna collect every single crystal. Alrighty. That is every sewer crystal collected, I think at least. If you really, really want to see me collecting every single sewer crystal, then I will link a unsped up version in the description if you so desire to watch that for some reason.
That's the last of them.
Now I can finally make my wife that sewer crystal necklace she's always wanted.
Say, what are sewer crystals? Exactly.
Oh, trust me, it's better you don't know. Well, boys, I'll be seeing you one of these days.
And you get a skill point for that too. So yeah, that's this planet finally 100%ed. That's pretty neato. But before I leave, there's still one last thing that I have to do. So I'm pretty sure if we go to Slim Cognito, he may or may not have new weapons for us. He does not. Yeah, he doesn't right now. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I collected all the sewer crystals. I find it very relaxing. It's kind of like a meditation for me, if I'm being honest. The music is phenomenal. The atmosphere is phenomenal. It is way better than the you know, big hunting segment in the new Ratchet and Clank PS4 game, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I think this would be my favorite treasure sandbox hunting segment in the whole series, if I'm being honest. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love this game, and I'll see you on the Silver Lining.